Welcome, everyone. And I got to say, Tom, that's a really cool intro. Canva really lets you do lots of cool things. So
Yes, it does.
shout out to Canva. Welcome, everyone. Oh, God. Why can't my camera? I keep adjusting the white balance and it keeps going back. There we go. Super hot head there. I don't know. I have to start wearing makeup. Welcome to our game of Impossible Landscapes, episode 1, A Scourge of Agents. I decided that multiple agents is a scourge. So thought about maybe it was a cell, but then I realized, well, you could have people outside a cell or more than one cell. So we came up with a scourge. So we have a scourge of agents joining us today. Before we get into the disclaimers for the show, why don't we have everyone introduce themselves? We'll start with Tom, our illustrious host. Tell us what you
Hello.
can about your character.
Hey, my name is Tom, Bolthra on the internet. I'm playing Gourmet. What can I tell you? He's very athletic, very into fitness, unlike the player, very inquisitive, and possibly quiet at times, which none of that should be disturbing. He's just taking everything in.
Excellent. All right, Minty, who are you playing?
Hi everyone, I'm Minty Vo. I will be playing Agent Gaucher. Agent Gaucher is manipulative, charismatic, both individual, with something of a public health background, and you definitely don't need to pay any attention to the outbreak of bacteria in your water supply. Just keep moving along. Don't look too closely for your own safety.
Boil it. Just boil it. All right, and finally we have Mouse. Please tell us a little bit about Agent Greeby.
Agent Greeby. Let's see, what would you know about her? She's you definitely can tell that she's Russian. And she's pretty obviously paranoid. Sort of lives in her van. Works in the kitchens of various restaurants in New York City. She tends to bounce around, although she's been at the same one for a bit now. She's really good, but she doesn't really get promoted because she strangely misses work a lot and is considered somewhat unreliable.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right, thank you guys. So for our folks out in the audience, Impossible Landscapes, part of Delta Green. Delta Green, obviously a horror campaign. Impossible Landscapes focuses on surreal horror. So it was written by Dennis Detweiler, came out about the same time that the current edition of Delta Green came out. So we're going to be looking at things like body horror, psychological horror, gothic horror. There's going to be identity crises, questioning of reality, and much more. So we're happy that you're joining us, but if any of those sort of things might be triggersome to you, either be ready to skip through to the next 30 seconds, or hey, if you have to drop out, that's fine. But if you've been watching us for a while now, you know that it's very difficult for us to take ourselves seriously. So even in a horror game, there's going to be lots of laughs, and the horrific elements will probably end up being comedic just because that's just the way we are. So viewers, skip. Players, if something gets too heavy for you, throw me an X, and we will adjust. Okay. This is going to be a long campaign if we manage to get through it. We're going to be doing 6-episode seasons. So this is episode 1, and then we'll run through 6, and then we'll take a break 4 to 6 weeks. Us players will discuss that. By the time we get to episode 6, we'll know what the gap will be and when the next one will start, so we can let you guys know so you can plan. But because it is going to be such a long campaign, we're going to have to take some breaks. Just to give you an estimate, when I played this campaign with my friends, it took us about 8 months of weekly 4-hour sessions to get through. So, depending on how much red tape we cut through, could go shorter than that, or it could go longer, depending on the rabbit holes you guys go down. So, buckle up and be prepared to come in for the long haul. All right. So, to get started, oops, I turned the page to the wrong direction. Went to a blank instead of my notes. There we go. All right. It is Tuesday, August 8th, 1995. It's the morning. We get like a nice drone shot, even though we didn't have drone shots at the time, a nice drone shot of the streets of New York
Or
City.
maybe we did have them. They just
Maybe
didn't
we
tell
did,
you.
yeah. of the streets of New York City. Gaucher, tell me, what is your morning like on your way to work at the health department?
Most mornings, it's an immediate check the work phone to see if any emergencies have occurred overnight that require deployment. Freshen up, usual brush teeth, look somewhat presentable at the very least, and then hop in public transit and start getting on the way because, they still don't get paid enough to get a nice enough car for this place.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, though.
Well, as you are, so where do you live in New York City or over in Jersey and come across the bridge? Where are you at?
They probably live in Jersey to try and get a little bit of a discount on rent and then mob in, but
Fair enough. You don't exactly work in the most lucrative business.
nah.
Um,
Government work,
yeah.
man.
So as you're coming up out of the subway, I'm guessing that you took a train across, got on the subway, and headed south to the southern tip of Manhattan. As you're coming up the stairs out of the subway, homeless fellow, pretty obviously, looks like he's wearing way too much for the temperature. Stumbles a bit, bumps into you. Oh, excuse me, and then kind of like stumbles on down the stairs, leaving a vague odor in his wake.
They'll watch him for a moment because if he's stumbling on stairs, yeah, that's a risk. They'll just watch it for a moment just to see he gets down to the bottom.
He makes it to the bottom without falling, and then kind of like shuffles along, keeping one hand on the wall, and makes his way off into the rest of the subway. You feel a slight weight in your coat pocket. I'm assuming you're wearing like a blazer or something because you work in that that sector.
They always look put together because they never know when they're going to have to be in front of people.
Yeah. You didn't feel that weight before. So reach into your pocket and you find, looking over at Roll20 here, we're using Roll20 mostly just because I can do a lot of handouts and stuff there and they can do some rolls. Would you mind sharing your screen there, Tom, while I find this stinking handout? There's a lot of them. There it is.
And I can probably share the handouts if you want.
Yeah, it should at least pop up on your screen. If you share your other window, not the roll window, but your main Roll20 window, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Actually, let's see if I can do that.
So in your pocket, while he is looking for that, you find a Spearmint Altoids tin. Feels empty. When you open it up,
they'll give it a shake
little
before they open it up.
Green paper inside.
I think I lost it. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm having Tom do the share that way. You don't see GM stuff.
Yeah.
And what does the paper say?
Hopefully you can see the handout that I just shared with everybody.
Oh. I am silly.
But it's just a piece of a triangular piece of green paper that says Madison Square Park, New York City, August 10, 9:45 a.m. Meet at Fountain. Are you going to be able to share that, Tom? Or
No, I think you might need to share it again, please.
well, it should be open. What are you seeing in your Roll20 window?
Just my character sheet. That's what I'm saying. I think you're gonna need to share it
Gotcha.
again or something.
All right. If I click
I
show,
can see it. You want me to?
yeah.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
should be
can
able
share
to.
it. I mean, there's nothing terrible going on now. I just can't.
Yeah.
Present? There we go.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I closed it somehow.
Sorry.
So you don't need me to do it.
No, I don't think I need you to do it. Is it? There we go.
Okay.
All right. So you see this. So Madison Square Park in
And
2
I'm-
days in the morning, and as you all are aware, the green delta or the green triangle is symbol of Delta Green. So last time you guys got activated was about 6 months ago, and you had something similar go on. This is a bit more theatrical than your last activation, so you're guessing it might be a different person calling you in, but you recognize this as a call to a night at the opera. What do you do?
They're going to, the minute they realize what this is, they'll just pretend to curse their bad luck, because of course they had run out of Altoids, and slip the paper into their pocket and toss the Altoids can away. And
Those things are useful.
they are useful, but if anyone's watching, and someone's always watching, if they see you open an Altoids can that's empty and then pocket it, there's something in it.
Good thinking. All right.
And they're also trying to figure out what to call in with what illness that their boss, who works at the place that prevents illnesses, won't dig too much into.
Yeah. So how do you call in sick? How many times has your grandmother died?
They've had to strike a very precarious balance between, I'm sorry, there's an emergency at the cathedral that they volunteer at, and also personal sicknesses, one-off colds, because if there's one thing that no one can really prevent 100% of the time, the cold.
It's a cold. That's yeah. Good point. Yeah. Cold and flu. You're not going to get rid of those. All right. So you go on about your day, and later on in the afternoon of the same day, Greeby, you're over at Vince and Linda restaurant. Afternoon cleanup after lunch, prep for dinner shift is going on. You're finishing up your shift. You have the night off, but you were in for morning prep for lunch and then post-lunch prep for dinner, doing your sous chef stuff. You're in there cleaning up when Ralph, the wash-up boy, the dish boy, comes in from having a smoke, and he says, "Here, Courier left this for you."
She steps back. What's he holding out at me?
Right. Share screen. One moment.
Okay, so it's a letter. It's not a package. It's a letter. And and she sees the Delta Green symbol on the outside immediately.
Yeah.
So she doesn't think it's she doesn't think it's something that's gonna kill her. So she so she will take it. She'll look at the guy, whatever his name is, Randy. Let's call him Randy.
All right.
And unless you gave him a name and I missed it.
Randy's good.
She'll just be like, "You never saw this."
Oh, that's not suspicious at all.
And she'll hand him a pack of cigarettes.
Oh,
And because she also smokes.
thank you.
And
You borrow.
Yeah. And then she will walk outside. She's gonna just put it inside her. She's gonna tuck it into her bra or something there, and wait until and then she's gonna head straight back to her van, which is probably parked not far away. And wait until she's securely inside of her van before she uh, and she's got the back of the van is all like blacked out, and there's a curtain, so like the back of the van is entirely
Gotcha. The cops
you
must
can't
love you.
you can't see into it. So she's gonna she's gonna go back there, and then she'll open it.
All right, you pop the little wax seal, unfold it, and it's just a regular sheet of printer paper. It looks like inkjet printing. Inkjets have been around for a little while now.
Very nondescript.
They're very
Yep.
nondescript. They're
Hard
hard
to trace.
to. Well, look at me. I'm trying to mouse over the window in StreamYard and like make that bigger.
Sorry.
Using the wrong thing.
Yep.
I can't expand the little letter, but it says the same thing that Gaucher said. Madison Square Park, August 10th, 9:45 a.m. Meet at the fountain. So you have been called to action. How do you get out of work? Do you just not show up, or do you give excuses?
She'll call out if she has time enough notice to do that. Usually that she's sick, because it's working in a kitchen. You can't be in there with any kind of germs. So she's fairly if she's even just a little bit sick, they don't want her to come in. But it's yeah.
All right.
So she but she calls out more often than her bosses would like, I think. And but yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So you're set then for Thursday morning. So you got, basically 48 hours before you need to report. Agent Gourmet, you are out in Binghamton, New York, right?
Mhm.
Working with the marshals
Mhm.
there. You are currently on Tuesday morning in your car heading out down to New York City to serve a warrant for criminal contempt of court. Some rich asshole has decided he doesn't need to show up to court, and the judge has asked you to go and correct his thinking. So that's what you and who's with you?
Probably I'm gonna say either Luis or Marco, one of my fellow marshals. It's always good to go with backup. Try not to go alone. And he just probably let them pick whatever's on the radio. He's not much of a music person. Prefers to just kind of just keep his eyes on the road and plan.
All right, yeah. So you've got about 3.5 hour drive.
Mhm.
That's a pretty pleasant drive from Binghamton to New York City. You get to pass by the Catskills. It's pretty lovely. Drive goes okay. Does the arrest go okay?
I would say yes. The fugitive at this point, shall we say, was not very cooperative. But Luis is quite skilled at convincing folks that it is in their best interests to not have their face scraped across the pavement, and to probably just come along quietly with us.
All right. Well, that's good. So you get him sorted out. It takes most of, you missed lunch and you guys have to grab something, from the truck stop on the way back.
Yeah.
But you do make it back. It's late in the evening, a little bit later than you normally would leave the office, say 5 or 6 when you get in. You walk into your office and you notice on your desk right in front of your chair on your little blotter, is a 5x9 envelope lying on the desk, and it's face down. But assuming you pick it up, you notice that in the corner of one side, it looks like someone has marked a green triangle. Looks, sort of haphazard and random, but to your eye, this signals something you don't want to open where other people are around.
He will stop and look around first, see if there's a window open now in his place that, for whatever reason,
I don't know. What floor is your office on?
I'd say the 3rd floor.
3rd floor, yeah. So, and it's probably one of those government buildings where you can't even open the window.
Exactly. So he's suspicious. He's going to kind of walk around. I said evening. I said maybe still a few people working, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's always somebody working late or just coming in to do some last minute crap.
Yeah, he hasn't touched it yet. He's more just kind of walking around. Maybe go get some coffee to kind of take a look at anybody who's still in the office, see if they're looking at him or not.
Okay. You want to make a roll on that?
Sure.
Yeah,
First roll. Okay.
let me pull up your sheet so I can see what the skills are, because I'll forget. If it, alertness, that's more for people sneaking up on you. Is there a...
Yeah.
Give me a human intelligence, roll.
Okay, that would be not it's alphabetical, but here it is. Okay.
Yeah, second column, middle.
Oh, and I forgot to ask if there was any
Nope, no bonus, just
no,
straight up.
Boom. Critical.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So everybody seems to be doing what they need to do. You don't notice anyone that shouldn't be there that you haven't met before. It's like nobody knew. Unfortunately, I mean, you've been gone all day, so the envelope could have been placed there at any time, really.
Okay.
But at this point, you're not really noticing anyone that looks suspicious, and you managed to do your looking around without drawing attention to yourself, because I mean, you work with a group of people who are always doing the same thing. So if you start acting funky, they might start looking at you funny. But yeah, you managed to fly casual, and you're fairly convinced that whoever left it on your desk isn't around, or if they are around, it's one of these guys that just is so good that they're not meeting any sort of stress.
He will sit down just casually, put his coffee cup down, just kind of reach over, undo the clasp on the envelope, and just kind of just casually, just with his left hand, just try to open up the envelope without like lifting it up, making a bunch of noise, and maybe just kind of just tilt it towards him and just kind of peek inside.
Yeah, and inside you can see just a folded up piece of white paper. If you pulled it out, it's a piece of copy paper with what looks like inkjet writing on it.
Okay.
Same thing that the other guys got. You've been activated. You need to show up in a day and a half in New York City.
I would assume he has a shred bin at his desk.
Oh, yeah.
He drops the piece of paper and the envelope.
Tears off. You gotta pull the brass thing off first.
Oh, that I was just going to say he does that first.
Yeah.
He's very careful with things, and we'll take that brass piece off, put that somewhere else, and then just the rest of the envelope is going to go in the shred bin, and then takes it immediately to the shredder, shreds everything while he can see it, and then goes back to his desk and continues with his reports.
All right. How do you what do you plan to do for Thursday?
He is going to see if it's 2 days from now?
A day and a night, really, because it's the evening of Tuesday, and you need to be there Thursday morning.
Yeah. He's going to check his schedule to see if he's scheduled for any pickups, shall we say. If he is not, he is going to probably schedule some personal time he probably has plenty of flex time. He loves picking up overtime. He enjoys his job quite a bit, so he probably has some flex time that he will submit with his superior so that he has the day free.
Yeah, and unless something urgent comes up, they tend to let you have a couple days in the office when you have to go and do
Yeah,
an offsite, if for no other reason than to save money on travel.
exactly.
Do you have your own vehicle? You going to drive in? You going to train in? What's your plan?
I don't know. I think he probably would take the train in. I would assume Amtrak probably runs from Binghamton to Grand Central or
I
something.
will say it does. Yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
certainly an Amtrak that runs up, the Hudson River, so you can get
Yeah.
to somewhere. But I'm not. Binghamton's
Yeah.
a little bit further west, so I'm not sure.
Parking in the city is an absolute pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
So he'd prefer not to drive in. So
All right, sounds good. Making any overnight plans, or are you just going to play it by ear?
play it by ear.
All right, sounds good. Um, so unless there's anything you guys want to do on Wednesday, I mean, obviously Wednesday night, if you're not on the line, Greeby, you might get a call from Tony and the rest of the party gang to have a little fun in the evening.
Yeah. I think she's gonna stop by one of the soup kitchens, or actually no. You know what? She's just gonna on her way to go meet up with them. She's gonna stop by one of the homeless camps that she sort of frequents, and find the nearest burning garbage bin and toss the letter in there. and make sure it burns all the way.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And then she's gonna, she'll go meet up with her drinking buddies. For some tension relief.
Sounds good. How late do you stay out?
Probably midnight.
All right. So not going to risk being hungover the next morning.
No.
Okay, good. Good to see you're serious about your true calling.
Yeah.
How about Gaucher? You got anything that you need to do on Wednesday in prep for your night at the opera?
Every time before, it's a school night. Gotta be careful. Every time before they go out for the opera, they stop by the cathedral, offer a prayer, check and see if there's been any community updates. Basically, always treat it as a last chance to let everything off your plate before you go and do whatever they're calling for.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they get home, they'll take the note and they will swallow it whole.
Oh, good. I gave you the proper sized note then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's minty.
Hey, all comes full circle.
Which I totally did not think of whenever I was like, oh, it's going to be an Altoids tin. you were in my head and I didn't even know it. Awesome. Okay, so who arrives first Thursday morning at Madison Square Park? Do you guys know where Madison Square Park is?
I do not.
In the background map that I have in Roll20, here, let's see if we can go back to. Can you bring that back up for me?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, you can see. I know that doesn't really give you too much, but it's like on the corner of Fifth Avenue and East 23rd Street. I could bring up Google Maps and zoom out and stuff, but it's sort of the middle-ish of Manhattan. It's near Kips Bay, near Flatiron, obviously, not too far from anything really. It's a nice little park that you guys can meet up at. So
Agent Greeby is for sure going to get there at least several hours early. She's going to scope out the whole area, and she's going to watch people. She's going to try to see if she sees any suspicious characters hanging about. Yeah, she's just gonna do
So
a
you're gonna get there
thorough.
at what?
Hmm?
8 you can get there around what, 8, 7? How far ahead of time?
I'm gonna say she's gonna get there at about 7:30.
Okay. How about Gaucher?
I think Gaucher would arrive 20 minutes early. They would have been earlier, but to better cement their cover in case anything comes up later and people look into them, they probably would have stopped by a pharmacy, bought some over the counter stuff for cold relief, and slowed themselves down to appear as if they were not feeling well.
Okay, so you're going to put on a show basically to look like you're just a ill tourist. I like it.
Not dying, but definitely not going full force.
Right. All right, Gourmet. I think you could probably get a 6 a.m. ride out of
Yeah.
Binghamton, maybe a little bit earlier, and the train ride's going to be
A couple hours.
it's like 3 hours from where I'm at up in near Albany. So probably about the same,
Yeah.
2.5, 3 hours,
I'd imagine.
because you're it's like Albany's this up here, Binghamton's like over here.
Yeah. Yeah. He would have checked the schedule if it was something that would have perhaps gotten him there with not enough prep time, then he would have driven. But if there was say like a 5 a.m. train or something, which isn't an issue for him.
Yeah, I think there might be trains leave early because people commute into the city and they need to be here reasonable time.
So he probably would get there about half an hour early, but he has jogged there. He brought along his some of his workout clothes, so he probably has a T-shirt from a local fun run in Binghamton, and some shorts and sneakers, and maybe a colorful headband, and will just kind of jog his way into the park and slide onto a bench and just begin sipping some water.
Okay. Did you bring your operating bag?
Of course.
How'd you get it on the train? And what's in it?
Well, he has some maybe some different compartments he can add some things into. And he's traveled by train before. That's another reason he likes to go that way, because even a short commuter flight, the security would be a little tighter. Sadly, we were before 9/11, so security's not quite as tight for some things.
A little bit lax. Yeah. And even after 9/11, Amtrak security was it relaxed a bit. Immediately after 9/11, it was tight. But it relaxed a lot faster than anything. But pre that, so you think you could sneak a gun on?
Oh yeah.
Definitely a knife. Okay. You don't have like a contact that helps you do that sort of thing at the station?
Don't believe he does. I'm
just offering. You can invent one if you want. It wouldn't be a bond or anything, but if you want to make somebody,
he probably he probably has someone he knows in the city. I would say he still brought his Glock with him, but no, not much else than that though, because he can probably acquire things as needed. So
all right, Gaucher, you probably have a similar problem coming across the river. Do you bring your go bag in? Are you packing?
They'll bring their go bag, since the majority of their equipment to the naked eye is just someone from the CDC going to work. The problem is really going to be their gun.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
The problem is really going to be they would have a hard time explaining why someone from the CDC has a pistol. So their best option is they're going to hide it in their basic EMT gear, since ideally no one touches that other than them.
Gotcha. So would this be a legal pistol? Is it registered personally, or is it a off the books pistol?
As is required for our line of work. It is, if anyone asks, completely registered and all the papers are at home, but to anyone in the know, this is completely off the books and bought off the street.
Okay.
All paper cash, burnt contact.
Gotcha. I'm just going to make a note of that in case it ever comes up. Do you have like a fake permit for it, or you just hope that no one's going to ask? Right, Jeff.
I mean, they would probably have some papers at their home, but they wouldn't deem that to bring with them, and instead they would have to rely on talking their way out of that.
Yeah, sounds good. Gourmet at least could fall back on, hey, I'm a marshal. And then just, but you don't want to bring attention to yourself usually. That's why I was asking about the how you got it on. Greeby, on the other hand, has bags, emergency bags stashed all around the city, I'm told. So I assume it's no problem for you to find something if you want to find a if you want a gun, you'll take a gun. How about that? Yeah. Well, you've got no sound. You're not showing as muted though. Oh.
What about now?
There we go. You got a loose connection. Sounds great when the connection's good.
The microphone pops out of the little thing sometimes. I don't know why. Yeah. So well, she's got stuff in her van, so she doesn't. The emergency bags are scattered around for some reason.
You keep
can't.
weapons in your van. You're not worried about cops doing a vagrancy.
She's got
check.
secret compartments in there.
All right. Good
Built
to know.
into it. Yeah. So. Yeah. So
What
yeah,
color
but
is your van?
she's white.
That won't draw attention at all.
No.
It's mysterious white panel vans showing up all around the city.
Yeah. Well, it's just they were. It's, just.
It was cheap. It's white where the rust doesn't show through.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So then you're sitting in the park for.
It's like an old, Volkswagen, like hippie van, and she's probably got some random stuff painted on the side of it too.
There you go. The old Volkswagen vans. Those are nice. What they call Vanagon? Is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Van
wagon.
So she's been hanging out. So she parked, as close as she could get, wherever she could find, and then she's just been hanging out in the square, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and watching people come and go.
There's a little area in the southwest corner of the park where there's a lot of little tables and stuff. People will come and play chess or just sit and get snacks. There's like a little snack bar or something. I don't know what the name of the company that runs it is, but it exists now. So I assume it existed in 95. I don't know. Folks, I'm not from New York City, so I'm, making this up as Google allows me. Oh, wow. Why won't my camera maintain? It's ever since I started using OBS, the camera goes crazy. It's like they're fighting or something. Right. So you'll sitting there sipping a coffee. You've got eyes on the fountain. You're there for a couple of hours, and then about 9:15, you'll see Gourmet come jogging up. You recognize him, of course. He, you've worked with him once 6 months ago, but it was intense. A few days of a operation. So you recognize him as he comes up. About 5 minutes later, you'll see Gaucher.
And I don't see anyone following him.
Make a check on that. Let's go with awareness rather than human, because it's more about keeping an eye on what's going on in the whole area. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, how do I awareness?
Awareness is on the left-hand column of the skills toward the top. It is alphabetized.
I see accounting, alertness, anthropology.
Alertness, not awareness. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then
We play way
I,
too many games on this channel, folks.
and then how do I make that
How
roll?
do you make it do what?
How do I make a roll?
You just
Am I
click
not
on
looking at the right thing?
Yeah, just click on the word. It
it.
should.
Yeah, it should be like in a green sort of rectangle. That's a button. I'm going to open your sheet too, so don't freak out if
Am I looking?
scrolling. Yeah, alertness is a green button. So when you mouse over the word alertness, it should turn dark green.
No.
Oh. Mind sharing your screen so we can see what's going on?
Yeah, right. I'm like, am I looking at the wrong thing? Hang on. Let me.
I feel like I'm at work. Hey, could you share your screen? I can
Right.
take a look, see what's
Right?
going on.
Yeah. Have you shared screen in StreamYard before?
I figured it out. Not. Yeah, I got
Okay,
it.
good.
So I got my character sheet over here.
Oops. Oh, hold on a second here.
Yeah, I'll have to switch.
Stop
Yeah.
this one and this one. Sorry about that. Okay.
It's all right.
I mean, I have it in dark mode. I could should turn
Whoa.
down.
Okay. Can you drag that up toward the middle of the screen? All right. So you're for some reason in the abilities and whatnot tab, which is like all the behind the scenes stuff. So click on the word Delta Green there. And that's
Oh.
the character sheet.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing.
No wonder you said you were having trouble figuring out how to enter your data the other day. I don't. So when you open it up, does it always go to that tab?
It went to the bio and info tab.
And you
And
did.
then
Yeah, it's not obvious that Delta Green is an actual tab and not just a logo.
Yeah, I didn't even really see it over there, especially in dark mode because it's.
I don't like
dark.
the dark mode on Roll20. Sorry, Roll20. I don't think your dark mode does any damn good.
I love it. Sorry, but anyway.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I can probably stop sharing now. Assuming I can figure that out. How do I stop screen?
There's like a just stop
I got
screen.
it. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty then. Alertness.
Oof.
That's not good. I went over.
Okay. Yeah, that's a failure,
It's a
but not a
failure.
critical failure. So for Delta Green, if you roll doubles,
Right.
and it's a failure, it's a critical failure. If you roll doubles and it's a success, it's a critical success. So a 100 or double zero is always a failure and a critical failure, even if you have like a super. So I don't know. I guess you can have a 100% in the skill, probably 99% technically. And if you roll I guess rolling a 1 is not really automatic. It's just good. Yeah. So. So you are, watching these guys, and you don't see anybody following them around. You actually make yourself so obvious that they notice you, looking for them as though you were going, ooh, 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 but, maybe not quite so bad. Gourmet, you got there first. You notice Greeby over, in the little tables trying to keep an eye on the fountain and everything else that's going around at the same time and failing to be inobvious about it. What do you do?
He's just kind of stretching, wiping, his towel, kind of wiping his brow. And he will just kind of keep a casual eye on Greeby, kind of wondering kind of what she's up to. But it seems like she's having some issues. So.
All right.
She always seems like she's having some issues.
A few minutes later, Gauche, you arrive, and I'm just going to say that you managed to spot these two sort of trying to maintain orbit around each other, but look like they're not trying to stay too close and doing a pretty good job of it.
Now I'm picturing the three Spider-Man meme. So
Right?
we're all watching each other.
Greeby's sipping a coffee, kind of keeping an eye on Gourmet and everything else around. You see her clock you as you come in. Gourmet hasn't noticed you just yet. What do you want to do?
They're going to pretend as if they just don't know them at all, haven't noticed nothing. They're just wanting to like get some time at the park, get some sun because they're sick, and sit on a bench, take out the pharmacy bag like a CVS. If I wasn't alive during this time period, so please correct me if CVS did not exist. But
I don't know.
It was around.
Yeah.
All right. Pull out like a water bottle or some like generic electrolyte bottle and just start sipping on it. Just not all casual, discreet.
Okay. So you guys stay apart from each other, but where you can see each other. Half an hour goes by, and you see this fellow walking in. Actually, you already have access to Agent Markets, so I don't know if I click Show Players if it'll bring it up for you.
I saw it.
Yourself.
I mean, it just came up.
Yep. Okay, good. I wasn't sure that if I did it again, if it would actually bring it up for you, or if it didn't. Okay, so you see this fellow walking up. Guess I'll go ahead and share that for the audience. So middle-aged white guy. He's wearing sort of a white polo shirt and a blue blazer. He comes up, and who does he notice first? Who's the closest to the fountain?
Probably Gourmet.
All right.
Like
So
let the water splash.
So he notices you first since you were near the fountain, and he comes up to you. He's like walks up, and then he makes a show of like recognizing you and going, "Oh, hey!" And then like he comes up to you and he goes to give you a hug.
Gourmet will roll with it. He'll probably have to stand up. Hey, I haven't seen you since Gloria's wedding. How are you?
It's so great to see you again. And he's like, "Thanks for rolling with it. Where are the others?"
They're around.
Great. Let's see if we can't find the rest of our friends, he says as he steps back. This is going to be a great vacation. I can't wait to show you the park. And then he kind of like turns to look at where everyone else is. Do you direct him to the others, or do you play dumb?
He plays dumb.
Okay. All right. So then he'll spin around and then, he spots Gaucher. He waves like towards you and, taps Gourmet on the shoulder. Come on, let's go. Heads over towards Gaucher. Sure. You've got this guy approaching you with Gourmet, who we've never seen before. He just went up and hugged Gourmet and now is acting like he knows you. How do you play it?
They're going to just pretend as if they're just noticing them as strangers coming up, apprehensive. In their mind, English, wow. In their mind, they're thinking either A, this person just has utmost gumption, just being all this noticeable, or given theatrics that they notice with the Altoids 10, maybe new. And they're not sure which is worse.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So he rolls up to you. It's like, "Hey, it's good to see you again. Thanks for meeting us here. This is great." There's our third friend, and he kind of like tows you guys over towards Greeby. Let's all get some coffee. And he'll walk up to the snack shop. You can either get in line with him or not, but he's going to go up to the snack shop and get coffee for everyone. Like this is a planned meeting among friends. Greeby, you notice this. He just sort of like swings by the table, but doesn't stop to like hug you or anything. He'll
Good.
just like, "Cream and sugar, right?" And Do you correct him? Or
No.
all right. So he comes back a few minutes later with one of those little cardboard trays with 4 coffees and sets it down. The table's small; you can't really get 4 people in, much less. Oh wait, there it's 4. Yeah, you can't really. I was counting myself. You can't really get 4 people in. But he just kind of sets it down. It's like, hey, why don't we take a walk around the park? I'll show you some things. And then he whispers, play along.
This is very odd that 3 strangers are suddenly meeting for coffee.
Well, we're not strangers. We all know each other. We're here for your vacation.
Very well. And yeah,
So he gets up and he starts like, he's not talking too loud, but he's, he's making like a local, showing his friends off. And he's going to take you on like a little tour through the park. You'll swing by the fountain. There's the dog park. You swing around the northern end, and there's a reflecting pool and that sort of stuff. All the while he's doing the tour guide thing and walking you guys slow, sotto voce, he's going to be filling you in on, why you're here. So he's like, all right, you guys need to help out the FBI a little bit. So they've been working on a missing persons case. They recently, one of our friendlies noticed an occult sign of some sort in the paraphernalia of the missing person. Went through the channels, got to me. I contacted you. So here's your job. You guys are going to be posing as FBI assistants. Gourmet, you're going to be deputized into the FBI for the duration. You two are just going to be, advisors. Wait a minute.
Grimshaw's
Where's Grimshaw?
I noticed
also
he was
activated.
missing.
Okay, don't worry about that. I'll check on him. Get
I
him
get
here.
very upset when you say, don't worry about things, that this will be caught up later. Shows lack of planning.
I'm not the one who didn't show up. So your cover is you're working for the FBI, and your job is to catalog items of interest in the missing persons apartment. It's a woman named Abigail Wright, I think. It's all in here, and he kind of taps a leather satchel that he's got over his shoulder. Yeah, she disappeared. There's apparently weirdness about her apartment. There's lots of strange clues there that need to be cataloged. So unfortunately, you got to do that job, all the cataloging, and there'll be someone there to meet you, Officer Girodonda. It's going to meet you at the location. It's the McAllister building, a couple blocks to the east of here. But your real job, of course, is to look into this occult symbol. If you find any signs of the unnatural, deal with it like you normally do. And then while he's doing the toury thing, he'll like set the satchel down on a bench, and then start to walk off away. Do one of you grab the satchel?
I feel like Greeby's been kind of hanging back. Like, she's still close enough she can hear him, but she's been kind of like, she feels like he's being so like not discreet. Like, that she's worried he's calling too much attention. So she's like trying to pay attention to him, but also like kind of keep a wider like.
Right. Looking
scope.
around, people seem to just be ignoring you. There's other people doing exactly the same thing, during the tour thing, taking pictures, walking around. The park's starting to fill up a little bit. There are, mothers with, and a few fathers with children, strollers, pushing them around, other, non-school kids, getting walks. There's actually some sort of I don't know, like a festival or something going on. There's like, jugglers and, some street performers, Times Square Elmo's here, that kind of thing. So the place is actually fairly full. Nobody's paying a single attention to him. So any other location, this ploy may not work, but it seems to be working here.
All right, so she can just nonchalantly pick up the case and carry it, I guess.
Okay, yeah. And Tom, I think you were about to have a question when I.
Just out of character, would we already have credentials, or is that possibly something that's what's going to be in the bag?
Out of character, that's possibly what's going to be in the bag.
Okay. That's what I figured, but okay.
That's what,
Okay.
That's why I was like, everything you need's in here.
That's what I figured, but I just wanted to ask.
He's trying not to say too much out loud because
obviously,
he's doing all this between doing the tourist thing. Yeah. So you're getting.
I was just trying to think, like, does the character already know? Okay, well, I've got my FBI.
Yeah. Last time you did this, you got. It was a completely different sort of debriefing. You met in a diner and you sat in the back, and there was like the under the table, manila folder passed to you. Completely different person. You've never met this fellow before. Okay. He did introduce himself as he's said, you can call me Marcus.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But he didn't specifically say he works for the FBI. He just said we need to help out. We're going to be helping out.
The story is that you are assisting the FBI. That's what So if you ask him that, that's what we were able to manage. That's why you had a 2-day lead. It took us a minute to actually get you into the door. So they needed someone to do this, and we put you forward as the perfect crew to actually do the job.
Yeah, he'll probably, as best he can, probably try to walk away from this guy, not spending too much time standing talking to him. Like if it's one of those we're kind of walking along, Gourmet's kind of just heading left. So
yeah, and if you do that
Creepy's going to hang back, So
yeah, if you do that toward the end of the interview, he's going to take your cue and peel off in the same way, and then just sort of like nonchalantly head towards the northwest part of the park and slip out into the streets. What do the three of you want to do?
Well, I could suggest that we go back to my van and have a look at what's in the case. But
okay, worked with these guys once before. You already trust them in your van. That's good. That means you had a good team building exercise 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's just a van, and I have guns in there if I need to deal with them.
I was thinking maybe like a coffee shop or something like that. That maybe she could go in the restroom and leave it in there, and then one of us conveniently goes to use the restroom after them, and one of us goes to use the restroom after that, so that we're not in a vehicle or something. But it's up to you guys.
And it's hard to think of paranoia 15 layers deep all the time.
Right?
Yep.
You trust these two pretty well.
Right?
Gaucher's worked with Greeby and Gourmet before, so they have a baseline trust in their capabilities. So if they see that they're heading off as if they already have a plan, they're going to follow suit. And whatever the two decide, they'll go along with it until it presents a mission hazard.
Okay. So Gaucher at least is tagging along with Greeby. Is Gourmet going to stick with the group, or do you guys want to set up like a let's split up and we'll meet up at a such and such location later? Or
yeah, he doesn't want all three of us kind of being
one
seen.
Place at the same time.
Yeah, just after we talk to that guy. So he's going to slide off and then wait a little bit. And he's very patient in that regard.
Good. Nice thing about this park is, other than the area by the snack shop, there's lots of trees. So there's no aerial surveillance, except like right at the fountain and right at the reflecting pool.
Yeah.
And it's August, so leaves are still on the trees.
He doesn't trust the New York City Olmos. So
Okay, so you all split up and agree to meet back somewhere. You're going to do the diner thing. You're going to meet at the van. What do
Or
you
we
all-
can meet in a library.
that's true. Yeah,
There
just
is a
somewhere
library
not
not too
here.
far from here.
And I don't want to mess up her van. So
Mm-hmm.
in that it's your cover, it's your place to live. So
Hmm.
Yeah, why don't we meet? Well, Greeby spends a lot of time in libraries and stuff because she's constantly trying to do research on the unnatural. But so yeah, I would say
Yeah, there's actually the Kips Bay Library, which isn't too far from where you're at. Or the Epiphany Library. They're both New York City Library branches.
I like the sound of the Epiphany Library.
Okay, Epiphany Library it is. It's on 32nd Street, which is the street that borders the south side of the park. So you can just walk straight down 32nd to get there. It is 1, 2, 3.5 blocks away from the corner. So yeah, it's about a 4-block walk. Take you. How long does it take to walk a block?
Not long.
Yeah, New Yorkers, put it in the chat. Or
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. And I walk slow, so
yeah.
All right, yeah, all right. So you pop over to the.
There's a New Yorker response for you. About a minute.
And at least these days they open at 10 a.m. So perfect. So it's
Gourmet
probably 10:30 when you get there.
Gourmet's going to put on like a tracksuit or something like that, and take the sweatband off and try to clean himself up a little bit.
Mhm. You got a
To
little
not
towel
look like
on your feet.
quite the same guy, and arrive. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So you arrive at the library within a few minutes of each other, but spaced out enough that it doesn't look like you're together. And what are you going to do? Meet back in like one of the. Let's assume they have some sort of study carrels back in the
That
back
works.
where.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Greeby, you get there first. The other two will be a few minutes behind you. Are you going to check the bag without them? That way, if there's a bomb, only you die.
right. No, well, I mean, initially she's gonna she's always looking over her shoulder, so she's gonna scope out the library. She's gonna make sure she finds the quietest, most secluded spot, but also make sure that there are exits nearby, and
Right.
so she's gonna spend the extra time casing the space and making sure that they have. She picks the most perfect spot for them to kind of have this little chat. And then if they're still not there by the time she's done with that.
Yeah, Gaucher's going to be there like 3 minutes after you arrive. So they'll find you. So I just didn't know how quickly you wanted to take a look or not.
No, she's not in a hurry to look in there.
Alright,
She knows she's probably not going to like what she finds, so
Right.
no need to rush it.
Where did I put the...
She's more concerned about her whereabouts.
There it is. Marcus's satchel. All right. Here's your satchel with everything in it, and you'll notice that they've got a bunch of little pink hyperlinks that will take you to handouts for those things. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go through them all and do a quick show so that you have access to them, and then you can do what you want with them. But you've got police and FBI information on the missing woman. Her name is Abigail Wright. She's a young woman. I forget exactly how old.
26 years old.
26, thank you. She lives in a place called the McAllister Building, which is a couple blocks from the northeast corner of the park you were just in. A few blocks from where you are now. It's on East 23rd Street. Yeah, not 32nd. Sorry, it's going to take a minute to go through all of the things that are in the bag. And I can't talk and click at the same time, apparently. I knew I couldn't type and talk at the same time, but this is terrible. All right, yeah. So that's what you've got. So you've got to address Tom's question earlier. There's a temporary FBI deputation, paper and credentials for you, advisor credentials for Gaucher, Greeby, and Grimshaw. There's a New York Post article on Wright that talks about her disappearance, the location of the McAllister building. So you'll be able to, now that you have access to these, well, you can see them. I may have to actually go through and edit them all so that you can have, I think I forgot to click show players on that one. There we go. Editorial, but then you can use them to take notes and whatever you want on them. Or if you guys want to take notes on paper, that's fine too. However you want to do it. Just wanted to make sure you had handouts that you could look at that were here that you can get to when we're offline, in case you guys need to go back and check things. Yeah, so you got your credentials, a bit of information about Abigail. So she went missing. Let me get to my notes here. This is a fairly extensive PDF, so I have to jump around a bit. Where?
And I think I should be able to see it on my screen, but just depends on what you want me to show. So.
Yeah, you can show whatever you want. You guys take a minute to start looking through things and conversing about what's going on while I find my place in the book.
I imagine.
So, go ahead, Minty.
That's it. I imagine as Gaucher enters, they're not going to make a beeline for that corral. Instead, they're going to find the closest thing to like a medical section this library has, grab the heftiest books as if they're like doing paper research for work.
Sounds good.
And then kind of use that to like, hey, here's all I'm doing. Block their table off to anyone that's like just casual looking over, so they can look over all these papers in secret.
Sounds good. Tom, that's a PDF in Roll20. If you click on the little hamburger in the upper left-hand corner, it will minimize the things there. And then, of course, you can grab the corner there and make the whole thing bigger so you can see a little bit more. Okay. Not all of the handouts are PDFs, but a few of them are. And
no, that's fine.
Yeah, a little fidgety.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's the FBI case file. But basically, she's an artist. Just done some local work. Had a showing in a local gallery not too long ago. Went missing, and her father contacted the city police. He is a cop from out, I think in Long Island, or just west of, maybe not quite in Long Island, but part of the city that's slightly. He doesn't work in the New York City police area, so he's had to pull some strings to get things going. But he started the missing persons case. The police looked into it. This was back in July, I think it was. No, June. As best the police can guess, it was 1st of June that she went missing. And they looked into it. They got to her apartment and they found, I mean, they knew she was an artist going in, but this sort of baffled everybody. There are some photos of the walls of the room, and it's like she started doing collage work on the walls. So there's like stuff like glued to the walls, it looks like, or maybe screwed to the walls in various locations. It's hard to tell from all the pictures, but you get a sense of like every surface except the ceiling and the floor, which is devoid of furniture, is covered with this stuff. So they took some pictures. They did their investigation, couldn't really find anything. And basically the case went cold until recently. Someone used her credit card outside the city. Where was it?
Patience, Maryland.
There you go, down in Maryland. So thinking it was, cross the state border kidnapping issue, the FBI got called in. FBI did their due diligence, looked into things, and interviewed the people in the building, looked into their disappearance. Also hit dead ends, and basically, I've gotten to the point now where it's like, all right, let's catalog everything that's in this room, which is going to be your job, to go in and, as best you can, catalog what's there. Take pictures, take notes, take things off the wall when you can, and just basically, I know none of you have been in law enforcement before, but doing the basic sort of forensic guy, I gotta collect all the evidence and bag it and tag it and sort it and put it where it can be safe. Nope, lost that thought. Sorry. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. Yeah, so that's basically where you're at there. You've got those notes. You've got, the location of the McAllister building. So you know where that is at. You got keys to the building and keys to Wright's apartment. They're, very nicely stamped, do not duplicate, like official keys would be. There's a Polaroid of a selfie that looks like Abigail took with a, it's best you can do with a selfie with a Polaroid. I don't know if anybody ever tried to do that, but it's not easy. So it's not a great picture. A poster of her missing persons information that her father, looks like had been putting up. And a little post-it that probably from Marcus. It just says it has a local phone number with information on how to, contact him. So it's phone number. It says not secure underneath it. So, don't call this unless you're going to be speaking in code. And to meet in Madison Park, passcode fellatio. And then there are 4 stacks of $50, $20 bills to
Classy. Okay.
help you get
For
started.
expenses.
Yeah, for expenses. Not listed in the satchel information is when you need to be there. They're expecting you at the building to start the collection at 1 p.m. So you have most of the morning left and some lunchtime if you want to do anything. What do you want to do?
Would we know if this is still an active crime scene where there may be someone like an officer or someone still?
Yeah, it's definitely still an active crime scene. It's not one where there's an officer posted at all times, but you do know that Girodonda is going to yeah.
You just want to walk around the city just saying fellatio? I mean, come on. Anyway.
And it'd be like, oh, aren't you posh?
And I have cash. No. Anyway.
Yeah, so there's no one stationed there at all times, but you will find the police tape, and this Detective Girodonda is going to meet you there at 1 to show you the space.
He will, as Gourmet arrives at the little booth or whatever, to get his credentials. We will need to change our appearances.
You will probably want to look semi-professional.
Yeah. So he has a suit with him, and he's gonna go change into his suit.
You stashed it in like a locker at the train station or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I will It would be better if we all arrived together. Do you have a professional-looking vehicle?
No, probably people don't consider my band to be
Yeah,
professional
yeah.
looking. I guess
he
it depends on what profession you're talking about.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so he will look to his other compatriot.
None that I own.
Yeah, because it doesn't do for the FBI to show up taking the train. But
But you
we're
could
trying
walk.
to save the taxpayers' dollars.
Right.
And
Yeah, and you're not FBI per se. You are
I'm FBI.
you're deputized. Yeah, I guess so. Technically, you are, but you would be not normal.
I mean, they don't
staff.
need to see us coming. I mean, we just
Right,
walk
yeah.
up.
There's like not
Yes.
normal. You would be normal staff, but you are definitely associated with the FBI. So
Okay.
Third-party contractors.
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
may or may not be issued a official car for moving around. They might actually, expect you to just take public transport.
And that's fine, as long as we all arrive together, dressed professionally. So he will basically just tell them, meet me, and so we've got what the rest of. We're supposed to be there by 1 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Okay, and it's about
It was like 10:30 when you got to the library. So by the time you finish looking through everything, maybe 11.
Okay, it's gonna be tight for him to get back, get his suit, get changed, and get there. But
Hey, Subway's fast.
yeah, it's true.
You can get to the train station back pretty quick.
Yeah, as long as nobody pukes on my suit on the way back,
Yeah.
I'll be. Yeah. So he's. We'll meet at. I don't know. 1:15 by the location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. It's 95. So there's MapQuest. And you're at the library, so you can figure out. You can get on the computer, figure out where's a good place to meet near the McAllister building.
That's true.
Things of note in the area. Let's see. There's a Clarion Hotel that's only like 2 blocks west, catty cornered, on Park Avenue.
Could I possibly use that as my overnight stay? Maybe I have my suit there.
Yeah. You give them a
Sorry
call.
to retcon on you, but
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, if you want to, I was going to suggest that you stay there, or there are other hotels. There's not a lot of hotels in Kips Bay, particularly, but this is sort of like on the edge to the west, and then there's more as you go like over toward Madison Square Park. But this one's a reasonably priced one. You can call in. They even have a rudimentary, 1995 website that, which basically is like, call this number.
Do you take Diners Club?
Yeah. So you can meet there. Assuming that that's where you're going to stay, or there's a few other points of interest nearby that you could.
Sorry, guys, don't mean to take over. It's unfortunately that's his personality as he jumps in and takes charge.
Oh no, Gaucher is like just dove into the paperwork and is making little notes.
What? Did you say something? Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I think Greeby would recognize it that they're making their notes in Russian, but they're writing them backwards. In case anyone just decides to take a peek over, they're not going to know exactly what they're doing.
You're writing Russian backwards. That's going to be. No one's going to.
She looks at you funny, but like whatever.
Are you dyslexic?
And Gourmet's like, it just looks like a Russian. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just looks like squiggles. Just write it in cursive too, and then it'll be worse.
All right.
But Gaucher will kind of look over some of the paperwork. They're already noticing a couple things, but they're not sharing it. We'll probably need to grab some supplies to appear more professional. Gloves, cotton swabs, anything for collecting samples of anything we find on site.
Mm-hmm.
There is also something I would like for us to get. It's saying that all of these were affixed to the wall with epoxy glue tape. Generally, these can come off with acetone or some other solvent if we're careful. It might do us well to grab some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And I can probably do well of evading any suspicion if someone asks if I do the purchasing.
Yep.
Okay.
There's
The
yeah,
ancient
there's actually a
ruins.
little hardware store a few blocks from the McAllister building that you can probably pick up some.
Agent Groovy?
I can give you a name of it at some point as well.
What? She's like, what? She's she's looking at the. She's like scouring the paperwork, and she's barely paying attention to the two of you. She's like,
Are you
what?
comfortable researching alone, or would you prefer one of us stay behind?
Perfectly comfortable researching alone.
You have something professional to wear, I assume?
Yeah, Gourmet. I'll pull it together in time to meet you where we need to meet. I'll look professional.
Excellent. Then I'll see the two of you later. And you'll take off.
All right. So Gourmet takes off, leaves the two of you doing research.
Gaucher will help with some organizing for just an extra minute or two, so that way it doesn't look too chaotic. But at some point, I guess they realize that's probably going to be a fool's errand, and then go about to buy the supplies.
Okay, so you go off to buy supplies on your own and leave Greeby at the store. Do you need to go?
She's gonna go back to her van and scour all of this stuff in the privacy of her van.
Yeah. Where is that?
And see if she can pick up any. And then also.
Okay. So, Gaucher, while you are walking back to the McAllister building, you notice a yeah, it's not, you notice like a contingent of the people who were doing festivities at the park are kind of like coming down the sidewalk in sort of an impromptu parade. And there is a little clown about the size of a child coming down the sidewalk. There is some music playing. You can hear a like a scratchy phonograph record, and you notice one of the revelers is sort of carrying this phonograph with the gramophone thing on it with a strap around his neck, and it's playing the music. The child is dancing along and trailing a little paper dragon along behind it. And I'm going to share this. We'll share it with everybody. But can you pop my screen on? Oh, I actually have to. Oh, no, I'm sharing it. There you go. So it looks a bit like this, coming down the street doing his little thing.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Creepy little fucker.
Burn it with fire. So
Burn the child with fire.
It's not child, that's
Delta Green.
Jesus.
Nobody else on the street seems to notice these, this little knot of people going down the street following this child. The dragon, as he swoops it around, kind of leaves an after image trail behind it, as though it was a sparkler in the dark.
I think that would be enough for Gaucher to notice. They're not going to stop walking, but they will slow down and keep tabs on them out of the corner of their eye. Are they just reveling and doing nothing else, or do they seem to be approaching something?
They're just going down the street, like they're doing a little parade, but like on the sidewalk, not the street itself. Give me a sanity check.
Ah, yes. It has begun. All right. Sanity.
Okay, you take 1 point of sanity damage. As you notice that
Oh, wait. Only one?
only one. Oh wait, no, you made a success. Sorry, I
Yep.
was looking at Greeby's failure there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. No sanity loss. But you do notice them. They kind of like go around a corner, and when you make it around the corner as well, they're gone.
Cataloging that later, potentially unrelated phenomena. They can't get distracted now, otherwise, if you go down every rabbit hole, you're never going to catch a rabbit. They go about their business.
Okay, so you continue on, and yeah, so I guess basically you would end up heading roughly north over towards the McAllister building. There's a little hardware store near there, which I could have sworn was mentioned in the book somewhere, but I can't find it. I know that it exists. So we're going to call it, I don't know, what would you like to call it?
Joe's Depot. So
Joe's
Depot.
Depot?
sorry.
Sure.
Make it a
It's
throwback
a little
called
mom
Joe's
and pop,
Depot.
store. It's not like Home Depot, right? You're in the middle of Manhattan, so it's a little tiny store that just has like
It's not
a
Home
few
Depot. It's
of a
Joe's
lot of
Depot.
different things, but they have acetone. They have like home supplies. This would be like hammers and nails and screws, and some plumbing stuff, the kind of things you might need to do some home repair. There's some art supplies there. Linseed oil, a few tubes of oil paint, some acrylics, that kind of stuff. So it's sort of a combination hardware, craft, McDonald's, yeah, versus McDonald's. And yeah, you're easy. How many cans? How much acetone do you want? They've got like little bottles. They've got the little gallon cans.
They'll do just a couple bottles for now. As useful as this could be, carrying around something that's a flammable solvent on their person for their job is not the smartest idea. This is a risk, even using it for this.
Yep, and it's just a couple blocks away, so it's not like you can't go back. Yeah. All right, makes sense. Yeah. The other two, besides getting a suit and getting checked in at the Clarion, is there anything you guys want to do before 1:00?
No, Gourmet is he probably has a holster that he would normally wear under his suit.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably worked with the FBI in some capacity, so he probably knows a name or two, somebody from a local office that he could drop if he needed to.
Okay.
But he assumes his credentials are in order and that they shouldn't be questioned. He's a bit arrogant that way,
Mm-hmm.
and will shine his shoes just a little bit and make his way over.
All right. What about Greeby? You went back to your van.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do? Are you driving over, or are you going to leave the van somewhere else and walk? What's your deal?
I mean, she'll drive she'll get there as close as she can. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that she'll need to move the van, because if it's only a few blocks from where they were before, it's probably she can probably just.
And I imagine this time of day, if you move it, you're gonna you good luck finding another spot. Yeah.
Right, but she will change clothes, and make sure she's got, some equipment with her. But then she's gonna continue to pore over the details of the various reports, and They already don't add it. Like, there are already discrepancies. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what. Yeah. So,
What
anyway.
discrepancies did you find?
Well, I mean, they don't say the same thing. On one place, they say that she was last seen by a neighbor on the morning of May 28th, but then in the other report it says she was last seen on May 31st by her father in her apartment. So I don't know.
Which one says which?
I was just trying to figure that out. The NYPD one says she was last seen on the 31st of May by her father in her apartment. And the FBI case file says she was last seen
By a neighbor.
yeah.
The FBI case file is the more recent report.
Okay.
In case that helps. Could be that they've uncovered something that the police didn't. So let's go with that interpretation rather than whoever the nice, helpful person on the Impossible Landscapes Discord that created that handout. We'll assume they didn't get it wrong.
Oh, I didn't know if that was like a clue. So
I was wondering the same
I
thing.
was like,
Yeah, I was like, they're different.
That's a legitimate clue in that, the police found one thing, but then maybe the FBI found something different.
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so she's just poured over the paperwork. She's doing what she's best at, right? Is information gathering and analysis, and I mean, happy to roll if you want me to, but she's trying to see if she, from what they've been given so far, if she can piece.
Right. Oh, so you want to like do some sort of cross analysis type stuff. Let me think about what would be a useful. Depending on what you're looking for. What do you? Yeah. So, is there something specific you're looking for, or several somethings?
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, obviously the cult symbol is not anywhere on the reporting.
No.
So, or that I'm seeing anyway.
That was found after that report was put together. It was just found like. Yeah, Marcus would have mentioned it was found 2 days ago.
Would search be helpful?
But
maybe I'm thinking possibly bureaucracy, depending on what you are looking for. That's what I'm trying to get an idea of what you're trying to glean. Because could maybe be bureaucracy, could maybe be human intelligence, could
forensics.
Yeah,
I think she's trying to pick out like if there's anything that like strikes her as odd, or anything that like stands out as like the thing they were like that was conflicting, or she's just looking for clues about
clues in the clues. Got you. Problem is, if you succeed, I have to make something up. So it's like, what's the best thing to pull in? You're in a library. Is there something that you want to like try to cross-reference externally from the files that you're in to try to like?
Well, I'm trying to think. So 1995 in a library, there would have been computers.
Mm-hmm. We do have internet.
Yeah.
So she might just do some cursory looking around about the woman.
Okay.
About the the kind of art work she did, or any details maybe on the show that she put on and the pieces that she sold.
Okay. Yeah. So make a computers roll while I try to find that information.
I don't know how to use computers.
Yeah. Okay. So you sit down at the computer and you start to look around.
Can't even turn it
And
off.
after about 5 minutes, somehow you've got it. You've got like windows cascading. This and this is August of 1995. Windows 95 hasn't come out yet, so you're still in Windows 3.0. Um, you've got suddenly like windows just like spawning themselves everywhere. There's somehow music playing, but it sounds like all chiptune because it's just playing over the tiny little speaker on that x86 motherboard. It's making a horrible whine, and the librarian is glaring at you. What do you do?
I curse in Russian, and then and that's when I decide to go back to the van.
Okay.
I just walk away.
Yeah, shelve that line of inquiry for later.
If there was only some way we could block people from looking at porn in the library.
Woohoo! I've now failed 2 rolls.
All right, so you're back at the van. You're getting dressed,
And then I'll get then I'll
you're
get cleaned
halfway
up.
through changing. You're in like your bra and one of those what do you call it's the little satiny skirt that you would wear under a
It's called a slip.
a slip. Thank you. I had that word. I knew it at one point. In your slip, and you're like moving around in the van. The van's shaking a little bit when you hear a knocking on the window.
Fuck that shit.
The bands are rocking. Don't come knocking.
You hear another knock. NYC police.
God damn it. Yep.
Is everything all right in there?
I'm parked legally. Yeah? Everything's fine.
Are you sure? Are you under any duress, ma'am?
No, sir.
Can you come to the door?
If I must.
Just a wellness check, ma'am. The van was rocking suspiciously.
Can you give me your badge number?
Yes. And he rattles off a badge number, and he holds a badge up to the window. And best to get slap it to the front windshield so you can
I had to remember that she does not have a cell phone. That's not gonna work. Okay, does it look legit?
Yeah, to you, yeah. You would.
To me.
You're paranoid enough. You would probably know the every precinct's badge.
I'll stick my head out through the curtains so that he could see and I'll just wave.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Thank you for doing your job, officer.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And he seems like you've just made his day.
She'll roll her eyes and duck back behind the curtain after she watches him. Make sure he walks away.
Yep, he walks away and he's got like a little spring in his step, somebody actually appreciates him. Some poor little beat cop, can't be much young. Probably younger than you. Hard to tell. Probably not 18, but
good thing I didn't shoot him.
Yes. All right. So about 5 minutes to 1, you guys meet up 5 minutes away from the McAllister building. Gaucher comes walking up with a gallon can of acetone in one hand. Everyone else, is looking nice and not suspicious at all. And then you walk up to the McAllister building, where a man in plain clothes, African American man, it's kind of like just unlocking the door and stepping in. He had just gone up the steps. The building is let me give you the description of this building because it's interesting. So it's a classic brownstone sort of structure, 3 stories with a basement. It's in a faux castle design. Um, it probably looks something sort of like that. That was the best, quick picture that came up of a brownstone. It's got like a fake portcullis that hangs above the double door entrance. So the entrance is on the right of the building. There is, like a short flight of stairs that goes up to the door, and then one of those short flights of stairs that goes down and then like hooks around and goes under the little short stairs to like a basement door. Very typical sort of city building, but I mean it's sort of gaudy looking. It's like decked out like it's this castle. It's got like crenellations on the top and this fake portcullis over it. Obviously, an older building. Just you can tell just from the wear and tear on the facade, right? Yeah. Luckily, there's no faux moat. There's like a little intercom buzzer system, just up side of the door. So this guy's just opening the door as you walk up. Gourmet, to you, this looks like a plainclothes detective. You've seen many of them before. The other two maybe don't recognize him, but you're guessing this is probably Detective Girodonda.
Okay. Yeah, he's got his badge out, his ID. What is the name that's on my?
What would you like it to be?
Alonzo Long.
Alonzo Long,
which I think is from a movie, and I'm trying to remember which one at the moment. So, I want to say Midnight Express, maybe. I'll have to Google it. And with Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro, I think it was Alonzo Long or something. Anyway, yeah, we're going with Alonzo Long.
Movie, I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up in the meantime. But yeah.
Here's
Alonzo.
Detective Girodonda, a little handout in case you guys want to take any notes on him. Yeah, so you walk up to him and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You must be the FBI. Special team
agent. I am.
Agent Long.
Agent Long. Yeah. We've been asked to come over and take a look. What's it looking like in there?
A shit show. I ain't never seen anything like this before. Yeah, just come in. Yeah. And so he leads you in. You got keys to the building, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm not sticking around. I can't. I got casework to do. It leads you in, and so like I was saying, the entrance is on the far right of the building. So you've got like the exterior wall here. On the left, there is a bank of mailboxes, and you can see that there are 11 boxes. 11 different apartments in there. The hallway goes down, few 10 feet or so, and then like you can see there's like a little dog leg where there is what looks like an old telephone nook, like they might have in older buildings where they would have a shared telephone. It's storage now. There's just like boxes and brooms and shit like piled up in it. But the hallway goes down, takes a quick left, does a dog leg, and then like goes down the middle of the building. And just after you do the dog leg, you go straight ahead, and there's a door for 1A. He leads you right up to it and says, "This is the apartment," and he unlocks it and just kind of like swings the door in and steps back in like a have a gander kind of gesture. And the pictures that you saw before really just don't do it justice. There's every manner of thing like stuck to the wall. There is a wheelchair halfway up the wall, just sort of like hanging off on the side. There's paper, everywhere, paper on top of paper, maps and stuff, either like pasted on or just like maybe even stapled. And then there's like, shelf, from the kind of like, the door, the breeze from the door opening kind of, gets the whole thing rattling. There's like a fire extinguisher stuck, sideways, and just all kinds of stuff. You can't even really, there's so much different stuff. You can't even just like in one glance take a look at it and go, oh, this is what's on the wall. It's overwhelming in a way. Not quite overwhelming to the point where you need to make a sanity roll, but close. So he's like, there's the stuff they left for you to work with. And he points to some boxes on the floor.
This girl's an artist. Or so they say.
Yeah, it would take an artist to come up with something like this.
Yeah. Apparently has something against open spaces.
Yeah. Good luck with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it from here.
All right. Yeah, if you need any help, I'm sure your FBI guys can assist you.
Yeah, we got it.
Turns on his heel and heads out.
Wait for the door to close. So.
Yeah. So the floor's bare. It looks like the rug's been ripped up, taken away at some point. You don't know if it was by the police or FBI or by Wright herself. There's no furniture. But there is a cardboard box in the middle of the floor. It's marked evidence, FBI, White Plains, Wright A, 10 August 95. In the box, there's 4 Polaroid cameras. Looks like at first glance, 100 packs of film. There's latex gloves, evidence bags, stickers, sealing tape, manifest list, clipboard. Pretty much everything you need to do your job. Just a second. Who has the highest bureaucracy? Thought one of you had some.
I have 30.
I have 50.
Bureaucracy.
Somebody has 50.
I have 10. So
yeah, okay. So, Gaucher, just like you step into the room, you look at this, you look at the materials, kind of take a look at the acetone in your hand, and you're like, you come to the realization that the 3 of you, it's going to take you 4 days to do this. Like, and you were talking like 2 shifts a day, morning shift, afternoon shift. So it's going to be a lot of work. If the 3 of you working together, taking about 4 days. It's just the scope of what you're going to have to do is maybe a tad overwhelming.
You said the carpet. There was no carpet on the floor.
There's no carpet on the floor. There's
like it was removed recently. Like I might see like little bits of carpet laying
give
around.
me a search check.
Yeah. Okay. Which check again? I'm sorry.
Search, I think, was a
search.
thing.
Okay. Yeah. Oop, nope.
Nope. 'Tis a failure.
There's a floor. So
There's a floor. Yeah, it's linoleum. It's old and cracked. It looks like it's actually linoleum. So pre-vinyl. Original stuff that was made out of linseed oil. Probably not asbestos bearing, but you don't know. Don't lick it. You don't really notice any. There's like a couple spots where there's a few tacks that look like there was a carpet that was down here, but you can't tell how long ago it was ripped up.
okay.
It looks like there's not a lot of dirt, so somebody might have swept up any fuzz that was there before. But the floor is clear, the ceiling's clear. The kitchen is mostly clear, just because there's cabinets and stuff on the wall. So everything sort of seems to be in like this area and the bedroom that's all glued to the wall. Anything you guys want to do before getting started on the job? We got, it's 10 till 10, so it's probably a good place to stop. But what are you guys thinking about in terms of what's your plan of attack?
Do we know what kind of artist she was? I mean, what was her?
She was a painter.
A painter. All right. So she's not a not a I can't think of the right word, like collages. I mean,
Right.
like literally, it looks like somebody made a collage
She's
on
not
her
known
wall.
for being, an avant-garde sculptor or something
Okay.
like that. She was
All
a paint artist. I think she did most of her work in gouache.
All right. So Gaucher's idea for taking some of the stuff off the wall is a great idea, because there may be something on there, beneath, like maybe somebody was covering something up.
Before we start taking anything off or
Right.
like altering it in any way, I think I would want to spend some time trying to just look at it as a whole, like,
Okay.
and
Okay.
We'll take pictures.
make sure we have documentation of it undisturbed,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just trying to see if there are any patterns in it before we start picking it apart.
All right. So while she's staring at the walls, what do you guys want to do? Give you a couple of other things that are stuck there. Oh no, I'm wrong. The ceiling as well is covered in layers of papers and weird objects. So the walls and the ceiling,
Okay.
and it looks like it's sort of like in a palimpsest kind of manner where there's like just stuff on top of stuff, and you can't even tell how many layers at first glance. But just looking around, there's like you can see next to the box, there's a transistor radio that looks like had been pried off the wall because it's got like bits of epoxy still stuck to it, like where it just like cracked off the wall. Looks like they tried to pull a Walkman off the wall, but it only like half came off, so the case is all broken and cracked. Yeah, it's pretty awful.
I think that the one thing Gourmet would definitely do, while we're also taking pictures, he wants to just, you said the ceiling's covered. He wants to lay on his back and just look up at the ceiling, almost like he's looking at the Sistine Chapel.
Okay. Sounds good.
And start looking for patterns. See if there's something he notices. To Greavy's point,
Right.
let's not just start pulling stuff down.
Yep.
Let's see if we can understand it first before we start messing with it.
Gourmet's laying on the floor staring at the ceiling. Greavy's walking around looking at the walls. Gaucher.
Are there any windows to this apartment?
Yes, there are 2 windows in the main room that look out onto a small alley between the 2 buildings. They're in the sort of the bedroom front is that sort of bay kind of thing we saw in the picture of the thing. That's the bedroom, so that looks out. Bathroom has a small window.
They're going to investigate all the windows because the report specifically mentions that the front door was locked from the inside. If she had gone missing, was last seen in her apartment, the only way that she could have left and still have the door locked from the inside is if she went through a window. Or if something less mundane was going on. So they'll investigate the windows to see if there's any evidence of a hasty escape or minuscule evidence that could have slipped by.
Okay. Make a search check, Gaucher.
Don't worry, this is perfectly fine.
And while Gaucher is checking the windows, Gourmet and Greavy, give me sanity rolls.
My luck couldn't last forever.
Okay.
So do we just click on the sanity points thing?
Yes, there should be like a button thing next to the sanity. So it looks like you failed the search check. Okay, yep. 2 successes on the sanity rolls. Okay. You each take 1 point of sanity damage. You come back in from checking the windows, and Greavy is just sort of like staring at the wall, looking a little glazed over and kind of like swaying back and forth. Gourmet's on his back on the floor, just staring at the ceiling. Both of them just sort of this slack-jawed look on their faces. What do you do?
Ahem. And they'll see if that gets their attention.
And he'll just kind of glance over. He's like, "What did you find?"
I've currently found the both of you looking in a daze. As far as my investigation at the windows, unfortunately, nothing.
I'm just analyzing her work, or potentially her work. See, there's a pattern, a method to the madness, as it were.
Yep. And you don't really discern any sort of patterns. It seems very random. Maybe once you start pulling off layers, something will show itself in sort of a 3D chess kind of way. But
the fact that the radio and the Walkman were taken down, we can spot those places. Would we notice? I mean, I guess the Walkman's not very big, but you know.
Yeah, eventually you can probably find it. It's but it's like camouflage. There's just so much stuff, glued in there that it would take a while before you go, oh yeah, this is it. But
are there any of her paint? Do we see any paintings, like intact paintings that might have been hers, like artwork from before? No. Okay.
This all looks like found art kind of thing. It all looks like trash that has been glued to the walls. And I think that's where we'll stop it for today.
Okay.
So thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for playing.
Thank you.
We'll do a little bit of cleanup off of. Hang on, let me poke the camera again. There we go. Do a little cleanup off the stream, dealing with XP and that kind of stuff once we leave you guys. But I hope you had a good time watching us. Does anybody want to mention anything or tout anything before we go?
I'll go first. Tomorrow night here on the channel, we have Masks and Muses, our Dragon Age campaign, and it is the season finale episode tomorrow night. So swing by, check out the game. We've been having a fun time with it. Next week, we are playing. We have a couple games going on. We have a session of the One Ring on Monday night. We're finishing up the Star of the Mist, and I believe Wednesday we might be playing some Dragonbane.
Yeah.
I believe it's the Return of the Trash Mob. So if you're familiar with Trash Mob, it was a game we ran in or a campaign we ran in a Dungeon World, and I've decided to move it over and let's try it in Dragonbane. And there we go, one of our players. So we'll be doing that, and then next Thursday night back here for Delta Green.
Or Delta Green. Awesome. Minty, you got anything going on you want to tout?
Nothing going on currently at the moment. It's been a pleasure, and I'm always happy to get to come and play and sometimes act a fool, sometimes unintentionally act a fool.
It's always great to play with you, too.
And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank y'all for watching.
Mouse? Do you have anything that you want to mention?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I'm like doing that people need to know about. Other than, I mean, I could plug Rising Phoenix and be like, "Hey, people, come out and game with us at Rising Phoenix."
That's right. We got Rising Phoenix coming up soon. A wonderful con out in the middle of Massachusetts. Mouse and I will be there. Come find us. And if you find us, then you get brownie points. Yeah. Then maybe you can game with us. Yeah.
Or at least go out and eat with us, because we always eat well too.
That's right. All right, then. We'll see you guys next week for more. What's the next episode titled? I forgot.
Well, you had a couple choices for that. I will get with you and decide what you want to use.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was thinking it was going to be either Go Ask Alice or Operation Alice, because Marcus was supposed to tell you. I always forget the all the NPCs important stuff that because Delta Green, every operation has a name. This is Operation Alice.
Okay. All right.
So next week will be, we'll probably just call it Operation Alice. Yeah.
Operation Alice. Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Good night.
Bye bye.